Next, they're going to be talking about the MAGA mamas. And I know y'all are with me on this. So at this moment in time, I get the opportunity to introduce you to a badass MAGA mama. She is a friend of mine. She is like family. And she is definitely the better half of our future governor, Byron Donalds. She is an educator. She is a fighter. She is a mom, most importantly. And she will be, very shortly, the next First Lady of the great state of Florida. Help me welcome Miss Erika Donalds.
Thank you, fellow federated Republican women. Man, this is a beautiful crowd. Love all the red. Of course, I dressed for the occasion because I am one of you. I'm a member in Naples, Florida, where my husband and I have lived for 22 years. Kat is amazing, isn't she? She's a beautiful new mama. Give it up for Kat Kamick. So fortunate that we have representation like her, leaders like her in the US Congress. And she started to talk about, I love the pet project. I'm going to be helping on the pet project. If you don't know, I served on a school board here in Florida, and that's what transformed my life. I was in investments for 20 years. I was the CFO of a multi-billion-dollar investment management firm, really living my dream, the dream that education allowed me to achieve. You see, I grew up just down the road from here in Tampa, Florida, with a single mom. Yeah, go Tampa. Got myself into college, worked my way through college, and Byron and I got married. He was working at the Cracker Barrel, it's true. And I was working multiple jobs and started at a very entry-level position, and we both built a life together thanks to education. And just like many of you, we want what's best for our kids. We want what better for our children than we had. We have 3 beautiful boys that are now 22, 18, and 14, hard to believe. But at the time, we bought a house in a neighborhood where we wanted them to go to school. I mean, the state said this was an A school district, and we paid a premium for this house. And our first son went to school there. He did great. And the second one came along, and he was absolutely miserable. And I thought, what's wrong here? I met with the teacher, I met with the counselor, I met with the assistant principal, and so much frustration. And finally, they told me if I don't put him on medication, then he's going to have to be bused every day to a special classroom across town. Well, that wasn't happening. I immediately pulled him out of that school, and I discovered, I didn't know there were other types of education, a classical Christian private school to put him into. And when I went into this school and they explained to me the curriculum and the cursive they were learning and all of the knowledge-rich curriculum and the poetry they would learn, I was like, wow, why did my older son learn this stuff? He didn't learn any of this. So I put my son, who was in first grade at the time, into this classical Christian school. And again, he hated going to school, you guys. And moms, you know how that feels. That means if he's miserable, mama's miserable. And you feel like a failure. I picked him up after his first day at his new school. His name's Darren. Darren jumps in the car with the biggest smile on his face, and he's like, Mom, did you know about the Crusades? No, honey, I didn't get that kind of an education. That day and every day thereafter, he talked all the way home every day when I picked him up about all the things that he was learning. He loved going to school. He loved learning. He never went to a special classroom aside from being in honors classes. And he graduated high school, never being on medication, with a full ride scholarship, and he's living his dream, playing basketball in college in Missouri, and on his way to being an attorney. I'm also proud to say that after Charlie Kirk's assassination, he immediately reached out to me and said, how do I start a Turning Point chapter on my campus? He's that generation that's going to take this country through the next 250 years better than we're even handing it to them. But at that time, when I discovered this other type of education was working so much better for my son, I was like, how many other Darrens are out there? How many moms are listening to the experts, putting their kids on medication, accepting that their child just can't learn, and feeling helpless, like they can't do anything about it? So my husband and I, actually some of the first involvement that we had, certainly in education, is we joined a group of parents to help start a Hillsdale Classical Charter School in our community. And then when I learned that not only was there demand for this school, we opened with 400 students and 400 on a wait list, I thought, well, I need to run for school board because this is a bigger problem than what I anticipated. And so I joke that I made the unfortunate life decision to run for school board back in 2014. But it opened my eyes to a systemic issue, a monopoly that was stifling our children's potential and indoctrinating them in left-wing ideology, even in deep red Southwest Florida. And I was a minority on that board. I was outvoted all 4 years. When I first got elected, they changed the rules, so I couldn't put anything on the agenda. But that wasn't going to stop me. I formed a conservative group of school board members here in Florida, which eventually actually included Tina Deskovich and Tiffany Justice, who went on to found Moms for Liberty, and others, and we went to the state and started advocating for more education freedom in our state, more accountability, and rules like the one that was introduced and passed by my husband that allowed parents and community members transparency in the curriculum and the ability to challenge curriculum in their school boards. It was the first of its kind in the country. And so I just became obsessed with giving parents the freedom that they deserve to select the education that is best for their children, first of all. And not only that, transforming our education system so that we are raising patriotic citizens who are civically literate and actually literate. If you don't know, only a third of our students in this country can read and do mathematics on grade level. And so I started in Florida advocating for education freedom and accountability and have since gone around the country. I've been blessed to also now join America First Policy Institute as their chair of education opportunity, working with Secretary McMahon and the Trump administration to dismantle the Federal Department of Education, return education to the states, and now I am very proud to co-chair the America 250 Civics Education Coalition, where we will be traveling around the 50 states to promote patriotic education, train teachers on how to ensure that their students leave their classrooms with a love of this country, knowledge of the Constitution, understanding of our rights, including our right to free speech without violence, and that they will be able to protect this republic for the next 250 years. The week after Donald Trump was elected was inaugurated this year, it was school choice week. And Byron and I had the honor of sitting in the dining room at the White House with him and several governors and school choice leaders. And he sat there for an hour with us talking about education and school choice and his passion for this issue. And he has not disappointed. He also issued an executive order regarding school choice to do whatever can be done at the federal level to push these rights down to the states and encourage states to pass laws that will expand education freedom. This week, I was with Secretary McMahon in Ohio talking to legislative leaders there about how to continue to expand school choice. And yesterday I testified in front of the Mississippi House Committee on Education Freedom in the hopes that in the state with some of the least school choice in the country, but it is most needed, that they will finally pass education freedom. This is a national emergency. Every single parent in our country deserves to decide how their children are educated, where they are educated, and most of all, what values are being instilled in their children for 7 hours a day that they are away from them. We've been so blessed with a platform to fight for the values that we hold dear, whether it's ensuring a great education for every American child, or again, promoting school choice, promoting accountability, giving parents their rights, and making sure that their children are not transitioned without their knowledge, and people in these schools are not keeping secrets from parents. The bottom line is we have to save this country. We have a cultural emergency, we have a literacy emergency, but America is still the greatest country on the face of this earth. And I know this is a national audience, but Florida is the greatest state in this country. As a sixth-generation Floridian, I am very proud to be here, and I am so excited about what is to come for our family. I met Byron when I was 19 and he was 21. And when we graduated college from the Florida State University, we had nothing but dreams, debt, and each other. But this great country allowed us to start from nothing with a great education and with hard work and determination and the freedom to achieve. We have been blessed with so much. And not only do we want to give back to this great country that has given to us, but we hope to give even more to this great state of Florida.